What's going on, Dominator? David Dominator here. First of all, apologies that it is dark. But anyways, we got to get into some big time news. It is the first week of the NFL season. Well, about to kick off tomorrow. And I've remade this video twice. Every single time something new comes out about it. So here we go. Nick Bosa. We're going to talk about the main story, and then we're going to talk about little things that are going on. Nick Bosa is still holding out. And I think a lot of people forget that his brother has done similar things. And I think that's something that we've kind of forgot. Um, I totally forgot Nick Bosa is on his first contract. Like, this is his first contract. And I thought, I totally forgot that this is his first contract coming to an end. And I understand why he doesn't want to play. And we're getting to a point where players keep doing this. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of this, really. Like, this is just a new thing. Like, we've seen Jones also do this for the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of defensive players are not playing and are threatening to hold out. And this could be catastrophic for some teams. You know, when you're looking at teams like the 49ers, Nick Bosa is a key focal point in your offense. Chris Jones is a key focal point in the Chiefs defense. Brian Burns is a very good starting defender on the Panthers roster. Chandler Jones is having some problems apparently with the Raiders. We have no idea what those are. And he, out of everyone on this list, by the way, he's the most experienced. The second most is Chris Jones. And then Christian Wilkins is also having problems with the Dolphins. Probably also why he was one of those possibilities of him being traded to the Colts. Damn. And listen, man, I think that everyone deserves to get paid, but we're seeing this new thing where everyone's just holding out, and we've seen this before. I mean, when you look over the last few years, I mean, you really can't count Le'Veon Bell because Bell got franchise tagged and he just didn't play. But like, I remember Melvin Gordon a few years ago. I think the first 4 games he missed, but then he gave in and he was like, okay, I'll sign. And I feel like there was someone else that they were just like, okay, another like 2 games, and then they quit. We have seen players, though, sign their contracts late. As an example, as a Steelers fan, I believe it was Troy Polamalu who signed his contract the day before the first game of the season. Like, he literally signed late. And it really just comes down to one of the sides have to give in. And most of the time it's not the team, but we're getting to a situation where a lot of other players are doing this. And if a lot more players start doing this, there could be a possibility for a lockout in the next few years. Listen, these guys do risk a lot of their time, their lives. I mean, hell, we've seen people, I think we really don't consider the lives part because it is true. Every time they get hit, it's not good for their health. Every time they, get an injury, that could be catastrophic. You don't know. In 5 years from now, or in their 60s, that torn ACL can come back to haunt them. It's rough. And I mean, I think that's also something to consider with, like, we saw TJ Watt get his contract. And Bosa is in a totally different situation, I feel like, because, I mean, at that point in TJ's career, he really never got hurt. Last year was his first time getting hurt. And Bosa's had that ACL tear in, like, his second year, third year, or whatever. So, I mean, I can understand why they are nervous. I think they don't want to give him as much money, and they have to pay a lot more other players. I think people need to realize that the players that are due for contracts are a huge list, and it's all of their top stars. Literally from Trent Williams to Debo to McCaffrey to Kelsey or Kittle. it's big time, and I think that is something that they need to consider because it's not going to work, right? Not everything's going to work. So I didn't think it was going to get this bad for the 49ers, but for the last 2 weeks, I kept hearing the same thing. And this is what I keep hearing. Oh, the plan is to get the deal done this weekend or this week. Okay, this weekend. It's been 2 weeks since I've heard that. Now we are on Wednesday. The Lions and the Chiefs kick off tomorrow. And Sunday, the 49ers play the Steelers. And probably one of the best games of this week, in my opinion. Then this came out about almost an hour ago. Defensive end Nick Bosa is not in the building today for the first practice of game week. His status for week 1 is now doubtful as he remains without a contract extension. Yesterday he was trending out. He was trending to be out of the game. And I don't care what people say, because I always hate when people say this. To get into game pace, you could train all you by yourself, and that's fine. But the moment you get into a game time situation and you have to get back to the speed of the game, I do not think you should even match that. I think that even if they get a deal done, I feel like the Steelers are going to have an advantage because Bosa's going to be a little bit off his game. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's literally going to be a waiting game. I think you have two sides that are very firm on where they want to be, and you have, one of them has to give in, and I feel like the team won't give in. But here's the thing about what I think the team needs to think about. Bosa, in my opinion, is almost exactly like, I wouldn't say playing wise, but Bosa could change a win or loss record. The first 4 games of the year are, I believe obviously they play Steelers week 1. I believe their other 2 are division rivals. I believe they play Cardinals and Rams. And then I think Giants, 4th. So they got to play 4 games. 2 of those are toss-ups, and that's obviously against the Giants and the Steelers. And the Steelers always come out week 1. And that could affect your record. And I think the 49ers are also kind of stressing out because it also looks like they're going to be out one of their best weapons in George Kittle. George Kittle is trending to be out as well. I think George Kittle being out of this game will be effective. It will cost them as well. That was Purdy's favorite go-to target, I feel like, when he was in distress and he needed somebody just to, go get it. And I think that that's going to affect him coming back. I already feel like Purdy's going to have a little bit of a scary year. Like, he's going to be a little more scared, I think. TJ goes for arms. Like, we've seen it before. We've seen it with Cam Newton. We've seen it with a lot of people. He will go for your arm if you put that thing back again. And I feel like you can't be scared to do that as a quarterback because that's your motion, but I feel like it's going to make him a little more jittery. We'll see. We really didn't see much of him at a fast pace. But when you really think about it, like the Steelers, I think are going to win this game either way. Because when you have them on defense, which is a really new revamped defense, all they need to do is have the great assignments, which if Kittle's going to be out, that means you have one less assignment to really worry about. You could put somebody else. Like, I don't think they would have put Joey Porter Jr. on Debo, but now you could move him around. And I think that front seven is just going to be rough. I think the Steelers just have, when they have TJ, Highsmith, and Hayward, and even Ogunjobi, and then you have guys like Herbig and Benton behind those other guys. It's just kind of like, damn, like they have depth, and now they could constantly give you pressure. And their new middle linebacker group looks awesome. Now, enough about the Steelers. Let's try to get into other news and the 49ers. Let's get that out of the way. One last thing. I hope Kenny Pickett has a great year. That's it. Now, there's only one other big news today or yesterday. Travis Kelce hurt his knee, hyperextended his knee, um, and could be out tomorrow, week 1. Here's my only thing about this is that I don't think we won't 100% know if he's going to be out. I do think this will affect the Chiefs, though. Travis Kelce's obviously one of their best players, obviously the best weapon, in my opinion, on the team, and I feel like this is going to be a crushing blow to them, but I still think the Chiefs could figure out a way to win. But then when you think about them having, Chris Jones also holding out on the defensive side, looks like he probably won't play. I don't know much about his problems, but I don't think he's playing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. The fact of the matter is that this could affect the Chiefs, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury. It sounds like it's not a long-term injury. It's literally just a hyperextension. They got to wait until the swelling goes down. The next question is, do you want to chance an injury being worse? Or if he's not 100%, it's week 1. I mean, I get it. Every win matters, especially in September, because you could look back at those, and that could be the reason why you're not the first seed. But I feel like you need to trust the system. The Chiefs always, at least in the last few years, have always lost one of the first 5 games. So, I mean, you just got to you want your team as healthy as possible. That's pretty much all the news. I kind of mentioned all the defensive players that are having problems. The only other big news that are coming out is that Mike Evans is more likely not going to be a Buccaneer next year, not wanting to sign a new contract. And it also looks like the Jonathan Taylor news is not getting any better. And I have shaved it down to at least 3 teams. I think Kansas City, Miami, and Minnesota are the best choices. Are probably going to be in on him, and we don't know what's going to happen. We know he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season, and we know that there's probably no shot that he plays in a Colts uniform this year. So we're going to see what happens. Let's wait and see. Let me know what you guys think about this Nick Bosa situation. Do you think that he shouldn't be playing his brother's route? Do you think that this is going to be a new theme? That guys are saying that, hey, I'm serious. I will pay fines. I will pay all this. I want my money. Do you think that's going to be a new thing in the NFL? Or do you think that they are going to try to avoid this? Because I do think that this kills a lot of teams later on when negotiations happen. So let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned, and that's going to be it. Like this video if you liked it, comment down below, follow me on everything. In a few weeks we'll start doing a lot more watch alongs, not this week and not next week, but the week after. I will be streaming on Twitch. Hopefully by then I'll have my school routine in. As you guys know, I'm in college, so I gotta kind of work everything out. And hopefully we can have a fun time watching games, college football games, and maybe even have one time where we watch NFL. Obviously, we will not record the NFL games because don't want to go down. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Have a great day, you beautiful people. Peace out.